What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Con Zero. I am the host, Mike. How are you doing again tonight? It is Friday night, and I sound hoarse. I don't know what's going on. I'm very, very hoarse today. Maybe it's because I've been up. I've been up since 5 o'clock. I'm exhausted right now. It's like 6 now. I was busy earlier, so I didn't get a break. What a nice day. Rained all day. All day. Weird rain, too. Cold rain. I mean, it's going to be cold tomorrow, I know it, which is going to be great for me because I love the cold. Anyways, I wanted to pop on real quick and dump my 2 cents on this subject. Obviously, from the title, we're going to talk about the thing that's going on right now with Dave Portnoy. If you do not know who Dave Portnoy is, he is the owner of Barstool Sports. And I think he does I'm not 100% sure what the name is. I think, and I could be wrong, I think it's Rock and Rumble. And it's like these fighting matches, like the old stuff where they used to come to your town. Those companies would come to your town, and you'd go and get they give you the fucking, the boxing gloves, and you get all hammered, and you'd get in the little ring at the bar. They used to do that in nightclubs around here. I forget what it was called. They would do it. It was so successful. They used to do it like every Thursday night or some shit. Everybody go down there and be like, I'm going to kick your ass after work. Like, seriously, I'm going to hurt you. And people go down there and get drunk, and they'd beat the shit out of each other with those big boxing gloves on. And I mean, I saw some fights that went haywire brutal in those things, man. I was like, holy cow. Guys got some issues they're trying to work through. So, anyways, I think he owns something like that. And I think Penn Online sports betting is his too. And I'm not sure if he owns that or if he's just a partner or what. I know. Anyways, the guy's been very successful. He's kind of an internet personality in a way. He's had a private, well, not a private, but a very public, rather, war with Roger Goodell from the NFL, and basically made Goodell look like an idiot so many times that it's really pathetic. I'm not a big sports guy. I really not. I can't. I know I don't watch him. I don't pay attention or anything. I like Dave Portnoy because I think he's funny. And I've seen a lot of things where he just makes me laugh. Like he did these series of pizza reviews during the pandemic on frozen pizzas that were, I swear to God, I've never laughed so hard. Some of them were so funny that it was, I don't know, painful almost to watch, because it was just, man, I was just laughing. He would cut himself all the time because he's a moron. I mean, not like moron, but he's a goofball, So anyways, yesterday, I think, I'm not 100% sure. I got the article pulled up. We're going to look at it in a second. Yesterday, I think Business Insider dropped a article about him having rough or I think they're alleging forceful sex with 2 women, both adults, both over the age of 18. They were young. One was 20. I think they were both 20, or one was 19, one was 20, something like that. Either way, both of the age of consent, neither of which, from what I can tell, were angels in any sense of the meaning. And I mean, of course, I'm a little bit older now. But if they act anything like some of the girls acted when I was like 16, then we know what kind of girls these are. I've heard a couple of people, including Jason Whitlock, who I respect greatly, kept referring to these girls as children. They're not children, Jason. I know you're 53, 55, something like that. They're not children, Jason. I'm sorry, they're not. They're adults. Full-blown adults. They can work in strip clubs. If they live in Nevada, they can sell their bodies for sex. They can pose nude in magazines. They can do pornography. They can vote. They can do a lot of things, Jason. They're not children, and stop framing them as that. Should Dave have known a little better being in the position that he is in? Sure, I agree with that. I don't think it's smart that somebody that's worth millions of dollars puts themselves in a position where they're flying a girl in to have sex with him. But, dude, you've got to listen. There's not, when you're in that bracket, when you have millions and millions of dollars, it's flying a broad over to come see you and sleep with you and hook up for the weekend or whatever is no different than some schmo spending his payroll on a chick over the weekend, taking her to, Sizzler and the Motel 6 on the beach. You know what I'm saying? Like it's no different. It's no different. For him, it was a drop in the bucket to fly her in. Big deal. Everybody's making a big deal about that. I don't see a big deal with that. Since the age of the internet, people have been hooking up via plane flights all the time. Since the 90s. So let's drop the bullshit with that, okay? Let's drop it. These girls were old enough to consent. They were old enough to know what they were doing. End of story. That should be the end of story, but it's not, of course, because we live in Woketopia now, where everybody seems to think in bizarro terms, all right? So once you get it into your minds, and not your brains, but your minds, the thinking portion of your brain, once you get it in there, and you realize that these women were age of consent, and they also consented, and I think one of them, and we'll get into it in a second, even wanted to come back for seconds, okay? Then you realize that this whole article is bullshit, and there's no reason for it. It's just simply to smear him. Now, whether it's to smear him because they have a personal vendetta or beef against him, or somebody else does and somebody's pulling a favor, something like that, or whether it's business sabotage. I mean, after all, it is being launched by Business Insider. But Business Insider does have a history of slandering people, especially people they don't know much about. They really don't care. Okay? Once you realize that these women are of the age of consent and they consented, the story is over. I don't care if they slept with him and they had regret. Regret is not rape. It's unfortunate that you regret something that you did, but it's something that you did. Okay? You shouldn't have regrets in life, but if you do, I feel bad for you, but that's not someone else's problem. It's not right to be going around making your problems other people's problems. We got a lot of that going on these days. They were talking about rough sex and stuff, and we're gonna get into it in just 1 second. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was rough sex. If it was too rough for you to deal with, or it made you uncomfortable in any way, all you have to do is say stop or no. And I don't see any evidence of that in this article anywhere. I didn't know what to do I'm sorry, but that's bullshit. He was just so mean. I didn't know what to do. It's bullshit. Let's get into it. Bang. I was literally screaming in pain. Young women say they met Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy for sex, and it turned violent and humiliating. In the summer of 2020, Madison sent Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy a direct message on Instagram complimenting his famous one-bite pizza reviews. Sick pizza reviews, she wrote. Thanks, fly bitch. Portnoy responded. Apparently, she had something on her shirt or her profile picture that said something like fly bitch on her shirt or something like that. So get the picture right away. Somebody's going to put that out there on the internet that she's a fly bitch. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. But it's a street sign. it tells me what I want to know. Somebody wears a Star Wars shirt, they're probably into Star Wars. The only time people wear t-shirts where they're not actually into the thing that's on their t-shirt are usually hipsters and rich people from California who buy vintage rock shirts. They've never listened to the band a day in their life. They can't tell you a single song that these people do, yet they're rocking these shirts because this rare, Motley Crue shirt is a $500 find, Ugh. Those are the most insufferable people. But anyways, she writes him. The conversation soon moved to Snapchat and text, where it quickly turned to the topic of sex. He sent her graphic videos of other women he'd slept with, according to Madison. And in messages reviewed by Insider, he pressed her to tell him about her sexual fantasies. Okay, so, i.e., he asked her what her sexual fantasies are, and she played coy because she wanted to tell him. Why else would you slide into someone's DMs, dude? You know what you wanted, and you know what you were up to. So enough with the smear campaign bullshit. If you feel bad, that's on you. I mean, actually, this one's kind of common, she wrote. This is what she writes. Pay attention. Like a rape fantasy where I don't have any control of what's going on. Okay. As a man, if I'm talking to some chick online and she's a dime or whatever, she's a good-looking broad, and she tells me that she has a rape fantasy where I have no control over what's going on, sweet. I'm down to play dirty games. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody is, privately. I don't know if I would meet somebody via the internet and only know them that way and then invite them over for dirty games. I don't know. That's not me, but, a fantasy is a fantasy. Most people will actually, who are driven by their desires for that fantasy, will actually go out and intentionally look for a person to act out that fantasy with. And if that's the only interaction that those people really have in their lives ever, that's what some women do. I mean, men do it too. But they deliberately go out and look for somebody to fulfill a specific fantasy that they have. So let's not act like this is something that happened from the planet Mars. Because it did not. He writes back, you and I are going to get along so well. Oh, man, you dirty old man. But I will say, in order to do that one, I have to be pretty comfortable with you, she replies. Portnoy replies, of course. And he bought her a first-class plane ticket to visit him at his $2.2 million Nantucket home. What the fuck does the price of his home have to do with any of this story? Speak slowly so I understand, because $2.2 million Nantucket home. All right, Dave. Way to rally, son. You got a nice place. I don't know what that has to do with this smear article, but at least I know that you're living well. She said the trip was a traumatic experience. Okay. She's going to give us a little explanation, I guess. She arrived at Portnoy's 4-bedroom home at about 3 p.m. Tired enough. Listen to this Oscar Wilde style article written. Tired enough from her travels that she didn't mind when Portnoy told her they would order in pizza instead of going out. Yeah, because she wanted to Netflix and fuck. Let's be real. Yeah, get that pizza, daddy. I want to ride that pony. That was in her mind. She flew from Wisconsin or wherever to see him. She wasn't going there to do Scrabble. Let's stop with the bullshit. Seriously. She flew somewhere to meet a dude. She slid into his DMs talking hookup stuff. Where are we? Where do we live? Where do we live? What world are we in? Still, she was surprised to find him nothing like his charismatic online persona. Wait a second. You mean you mean he's not the same person that you thought you knew from the 3-minute clips? Really? That was your takeaway? Your takeaway is that an entire human being is more than the sum of the 3-minute pizza review clips that you know him from? You're kidding. I mean, you're kidding, right? I thought he'd be the same pizza review dude. You gotta be kidding me, right? He was very rude. He wasn't funny at all. He just reminded me of a boring, grumpy old man. Then why are you there to sizz his diz? Huh? If you thought he was a grumpy old man when you saw his pictures and you were sliding in his DMs, you wouldn't have boarded that plane, baby. So drop it. We all know what you are. We all know what you did. And we all know what you're doing in this article. After dinner, they started kissing. Wait a second. Yo, I'm not kissing some girl that's being rude to me all night. If you're going to be a rude, grumpy, frumpy bitch to me, you think I'm going to start making out with you? I mean, okay, me, maybe. I might. I don't know. You never can tell. But if you're alone at this dude's house, you know what I'm saying? 1,000 miles from home. You knew what you were doing. This is crazy. Just crazy town. She started kissing. Madison said she first became uncomfortable when Portnoy pulled out his phone and started filming her without asking permission as she performed oral sex on him. Quote, I never said anything. I was scared. He was just so mean. Unquote, she said. So, when his dick was in your mouth, you weren't uncomfortable. But when your dick was in his mouth and his cell phone was out, then you were uncomfortable. What are you talking about? Who wrote this? Julie Black. I don't know her. Not familiar with any of her work. But this isn't a story. There's some texts here. It says 43, how many nights was it? 2. We had sex one time. Was it good? And it was so, okay, it says, was it good? And it was so rough, I felt like I was being raped. He videotaped me and spit in my mouth and choked me so hard I couldn't breathe. And it hurt, and I was literally screaming in pain. I don't believe you. Okay. Let's suspend my disbelief and let's look at the situation without my bias on it. Because I think you're just a hoe looking for a payday. That's what I think. First of all, you said that you wanted to have a rape fantasy. You flew from your home state to his home state. You stayed with him. You filleted him.
Do not come.
Kamala? Dave. He spit in my mouth and choked me so hard I couldn't breathe. Well, choking's normal during sex. I don't know about spitting in the mouth. That's not my thing, but some people are into it. And it's kind of a new thing. And here's the thing. I mean, I'm no expert on how you operate in your mind. But if I got some girl riding me out and she leans over and spits in my mouth, she's going for a ride. I mean an R-I-D-E ride. I'm going to scoop her up and I'm going to throw her off the bed head first and spit in my mouth. All right? I don't share toothbrushes. Real deep, passionate kissing is enough with that stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like, he was spitting in your mouth. Like, how many times? You just kept taking it? From there, things escalated until, as Madison put it, I felt like I was just a human sex doll. Well, you are. That's what you are. You're a human sex doll. You offered yourself up for sex to, a guy who bought you a plane ticket. You flew to his house. He ordered pizza. You Netflixed and chilled, and you didn't like it. Maybe you had a big dong and it hurt. Maybe you wanted to get rough and he got a little too rough and you didn't say something. That's your fault. But if you were consenting the whole time, you never said no. And this whole uncomfortable thing is just, it's bull. You know what you were doing. You know why you were going there. All right? But here's the thing. You ever meet somebody in the beginning of the night, you're like, oh, this chick's cool, man. I'm going to try to hook up with this girl, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure girls do the same thing with guys. And by the end of the night, you're like, ugh, God, this person, ugh, get her away from me. Somebody rescue me, right? She didn't even have the time to do that. She just flew to homeboy's house to ride the pony. 2 days later, Madison texted her close friend, it was so rough, I felt like blah, blah, blah. We already talked about that. And it hurt, and I was literally screaming in pain. She recalled crying and shouting, too much, and it hurts. So dude's got what? A big dong? And you've only slept with dudes with little dong? You're not, what is too much? Too much what? What hurts? The actual sex? Or is he doing something else to you? Is he physically abusing you? Is he punching you? Is he slapping you? Is he doing something to you to make you feel so scared that you just freeze up, right? Too much of what? It was so painful. Again, what? I kept trying to get away, and he was like, stop running away from me. Stop running away from me. But Portnoy, she said, just went harder. Madison's flight home wasn't until 2 days later, so she slept on Portnoy's couch both nights. They did not have sex again. Dave Portnoy makes no secret of the fact that he likes to have sex with young women and to push the boundaries of what is considered socially acceptable. What are they talking about? The dude's living his life. I don't think he goes out on a limb to push boundaries. I've never heard him say that or make any claim to that. What are you talking about? In many ways, that image is at the core of the brand that has made him one of the wealthiest and most powerful figures in digital media. There are the rape jokes, his repeated use of N-word on camera, and his harassment of female journalists. Okay. This is just crap. This whole thing is crap. Last July, he released a viral TikTok video that offered women 3 tips for how to slide into a celebrity's DMs. Be very hot, don't be ugly, and say this, 2 words, I fuck. Yeah, that's a guarantee. Yeah, that's a guarantee. He just told you how to hook up with him, and then a chick DM'd him. 2 of them did. Hello. Oh, my goodness. Since 2019, he has appeared in 3 sex tapes that have leaked online. The stock price of Barstool's parent company plunged after the most recent leaked video, in which he violently chokes a woman using a collar and a leash. Both Portnoy and the woman said the encounter was consensual. Sounds like to me he likes rough sex. Sounds like to me the girls he has sex with like rough sex. That's normal. A lot of women like rough sex. Okay? A lot of women do. I used to sling it, Portnoy responded at this time. I've gotten better. For years, Portnoy has managed to escape scrutiny, but now Julia Black is going to give it to him. His behavior and comments were just accepted. They were expected. and commoditized. What a moron. A 2020 Barstool documentary series produced by the media company features Portnoy forcefully digitally penetrating a sex doll while donning a tuxedo, later declaring himself the Finger King. Dude, do you understand that that's a joke? Do you have no sense of humor? That's hilarious. The Finger King. Oh. Young men who call Portnoy El Presidente follow the mogul's every move, buying up Barstool merchandise printed with the logos like Team Portnoy and Portnoy Musk 2024. Young women tag him in provocative videos and photos in an attempt to get his attention. The women who appeared in this third leak sex tape even went on a publicity blitz this past May to defend him. In October, when Portnoy visited the campus of University of Tennessee at Knoxville for a college football game, Barstool's official Instagram page posted a picture of a house whose front porch had a huge sign that said, "Dave, come on in. We have pizza and pussy, 10 out of 10. Oh, God. Where are the people like this in my life? Pizza and pussy, and it's a 10 out of 10 on both? Sign me up. For many, Dave Portnoy is a hero, but some in his orbit, particularly women, have told Insider they felt as though he abused his fame and power and put them in compromising positions. Insider spoke with more than 24 people with direct experience with Portnoy and Barstool, including 8 current or former employees, some women, as young as 19, who had no professional connection to Portnoy, recounted having sexually explicit online exchanges with him. 3 of these women said they had sex with Portnoy, now 44, and that the encounters turned into frightening and humiliating experiences that have taken a toll on their mental health. Bullshit. Bullshit. Capital B, capital S. It's 2, including Madison, said Portnoy both choked and filmed them without advance permission. Another has had depression. Said she was suicidal after the 2 had sex. Yeah, maybe she couldn't find any more good D like that. And she's like, what am I going to do without that D? El Presidente's D. There's no telling why she got depressed. Maybe she realized she's a whore and she does bad things. And she just hooks up with men because reasons. I'm not judging her if that's what she wants to do, but if she gets depressed because afterwards she thought about it and realized, that's not the kind of person I want to be, that's not on Dave Portnoy. All right? If I own a parking lot and somebody wants to park there and I charge them a little bit of money to park there, that's fine. They needed the parking lot and I had the space. These girls are wanting some D and he's got some to give. He's got the space. And all 3 were afraid to speak out, fearing retaliation from the media mogul and his rabid fan base. This article uses pseudonyms chosen by Insider, which is aware of the women's real identities. I know how he is when someone goes after him, said the second woman, who said she was both choked and filmed without advance permission. I got news for you. You're in his house. He can film you having sex with him for any number of reasons. And one of them for this kind of shit right here. To prove that he didn't, in fact, rape you. That it was, in fact, consensual the entire time. So maybe that's why he was filming you. He has the right to do it. You're in his home. You came for sex. It was consensual. If you didn't like the fact that he was filming you, you could have stopped what you were doing, taken the pee-pee out of your mouth, stood up, pulled your pants up, put your shirt back on, and left like a big girl. Nobody was telling you that you had to stay there another night on his couch. You're a big girl. Call Uber, go to a hotel, and fly out the next day. But that's not what you did. You stayed on his couch. And you probably pouted and you wanted him to be like, oh, what's wrong? And he was like, hey, what's up, fuck puppet? How are you? And then you realized what you were and why you were there, and it became depressing for you. And now you're voicing out about this. Because I still haven't seen anything that he's done that was illegal or any reason for this article to be written whatsoever. She asked not to have the specific details of her experience publicly revealed, fearing harassment from Portnoy or his fans. Insiders spoke to someone with whom the woman shared details of her rough sex with Portnoy. I thought he would say something in public or share videos of me. So, wait a second. Wait. She asked not to have the specific details of her experience publicly revealed, fearing harassment from Portnoy or his fans. Period. Insiders spoke to someone with whom the woman shared details of her rough sex with Portnoy. Quote, I thought he would say something in public or share videos of me, unquote. Wait a second. So you're not even speaking to this woman about it? You're recounting her experience from someone she told? A whole other person? What? In an email, Barstool Sports attorney said many of the accusations in the article embody half-truths, are highly misleading, lack appropriate context, and appear to have been provided to you by individuals whose motivations and trustworthiness should at least have been fully vetted. Agreed. Or even kind of vetted. They got the account of the second sexual experience from a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. Yeah, break. You're telling me they're going to write an article about this, and this woman whose identity is going to be completely and totally hidden is still not willing to speak out about it? Must not have been that bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The attorney asked for more time for further comment. Insider provided an additional 2 days, but Barstool's attorney did not provide additional comment or communications. Perpetually tan and bearded, Portnoy has built a $500 million digital media empire off of sports gambling, crude humor, and barely clothed women. Barstool Sports, whose slogan is "By the common man, for the common man," does for digital media what Donald Trump did for politics. And there is the fucking linchpin. There it is. There it is. It speaks to the masses. No pretension, no highfalutin language, and notably, no apologies. The company says it reaches an estimate 54 million monthly unique visitors. In 2020, Barstool was valued at $450 million. Portnoy has an estimated net worth of $100 million. Good. This dude started with nothing. Good. The whole thing is just a slam fest. It's a long article. So I'm not going to get into any more of it. I'm just getting into basically the accusations, right? So anyways, what a bunch of shit that is. The whole thing, it's all bullshit. Think about that for a second. 2 women getting an article. Dave Portnoy is being attacked here for no reason. There was nothing in that article ever that said he did anything illegal. Are we now to examine the sexual practices of everybody that we might disagree with or not like? I tell you what, you don't want to start playing that game because you've slept with people out there that don't like you. And they'll tell everything when you start playing that game. Dave Portnoy did nothing wrong. All right? He had sex with 2 women who consented, who were of the age of consent or older. And just because they didn't have a good experience doesn't give them the right to sit here and slander him in public and have articles, contribute to articles written about him, which clearly this article is written by somebody that fucking hates him. Perpetually tan and bearded. They try to make him sound like a douchebag the whole time, right? Listen, the guy's, multi-millionaire, all right? He's unapologetic on who he is. He's very open and honest about wanting to bang. He puts stuff out on the internet that says if you want to fucking slide into people's DMs and get famous people's attention, be hot. whatever, be, dumb or whatever. I don't know what the second one was. And the third one was 2 words. I fuck. Do you need to hear anything else besides that? Because you don't. Because that's exactly what these girls did. Both of them. I'm sure other ones too. I'm sure lots of them. Lots of them. All right? And they probably all like rough sex. Because Dave likes it. Do you think he's going to invite some vanilla chick over to his house if he thinks that it's going to be a problem? No. Him saying, I first felt uncomfortable when he pulled out his camcorder. His penis was in your mouth. I think uncomfortability's kind of gone out the window by then, unless, I don't know, you crapped yourself. Then that could be uncomfortable, yes. But come on, man. Come on. And I'm not, again, I'm not a Barstool sports guy. I'm not a sports guy at all. But I read this story and I was like, this is bullshit. Do I like Portnoy? Sure. I think he's funny. I like his pizza stuff because I'm a fat ass that likes pizza stuff. But let's stop it. Let's stop it right now. 2 girls that consented to sex had sex with Dave Portnoy. That's not news. And it's certainly not worthy of a huge, I mean, I'm still scrolling down this article. Still, it's just, it never ends. It's just, and it's slanderous the whole time. These girls sending in pictures, this hot ass, look. If that girl sends me a DM and she's like, hey, what's up? How you doing? I fuck. I'm like, oh, hi. What name should I book the airline ticket on? What name should I buy the Mercedes for? Because I'm going to put it in your name. You want a 300 series? You realize I'm getting you the E, right? That's what you're getting, E series. But it's still a Benzo. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do? What do you do with this? Look at it. Look. I'm 43. She slides into my DMs and tells me that she wants to get down. We're getting down. I'm flying her in. I'll send a car, pick it up, and we're going to have some fun over the weekend. If she doesn't like it, well, she'll just be another chick on the list of women that I have severely disappointed in life. She's hot though. She's hot, but just real quick, I'll show you something. The fake eyelashes and the fake eyebrows and the dyed hair and the definitely injected lips and the 2.5 pounds of makeup. She's hot, but that's not for me. But I can see why Dave was like, yeah, sure, come on by. I'll just be here eating pizza and pussy on his Instagram. I'll be eating pizza and pussy tonight, boys. Take care. Anyways, shit. Dave Portnoy did nothing wrong. Period. Bunch of smear merchants over at Insider. Jerk-offs. Anyways, I'm Mike, your host. This was Conversation Zero. Can it get any dumber? Really? Can it get any dumber? Now we can't even have consensual sex anymore. Fucking Dave Portnoy did nothing wrong. Catch you guys later.